so many people come into entrepreneurship saying, I want to find my passion. And the hard truth is, do not, please do not try and go find your passion. So in today's video, we're going to be sharing 10 of the biggest misconceptions and hard truths that you need to know about starting an online business. Now, one big reason that I wanted to do this video is because so many new entrepreneurs fail or end up giving up because they step into this Instagram illusion, essentially, that it's all these rainbows and butterflies and everyone putting their best foot forward. And then behind the scenes on the back end, and maybe this is you're sitting there being like, oh my gosh, I'm pulling my hair out. I must be doing something wrong. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. And so while we're all marketing this best version of ourselves, it can also be really detrimental to your success if you don't actually know some of these truths and misconceptions about running an online business. So by the end of this video, you're going to hear the 10 biggest misconceptions about running an online business, what the truths actually are so that you can step into this journey feeling like super empowered and excited and energized and actually know what you're walking into so that you don't have to feel like you're not cut out for this. And before we dive in, if you're new here, hello, my name is Kolbye, and I am a business coach and online educator for service-based entrepreneurs, helping them grow a personal brand and an online business using social media. So on this channel, you're going to find tons of videos on all things marketing, entrepreneurship, building an online business, as well as the digital nomad lifestyle, because I also happen to travel the world full-time. So don't forget to like and subscribe to help us keep creating all of this amazing content for you. And with that, let's get to why you tuned into this video. So the first misconception is that we're leaving this 9-to-5 to come have all of this space and time and freedom. And it's true, but it does not happen that way from the beginning. Typically, you leave the 9-to-5 and you end up working 24/7 for yourself. Now, I'm definitely not advocating working 24/7 for yourself. There always needs to be a balance. But the reason that I'm bringing this one up is because you need to know that it is a lot of work to build a business. And if anyone tells you otherwise, they're probably lying. Any entrepreneur, any online business owner has worked their butt off, and it's taken a lot of time. It's taken a lot of work. So again, does this mean that you have to be working 24/7 to be successful? Absolutely not. But I think a lot of people come into this illusion seeing all the laptops on the beach and all these people who have been in business a little while, and they've got all this free time and take Fridays off, and new entrepreneurs come in 3 months in and they're like, what am I doing wrong? Why don't I have Fridays off? I'm working all the time. And so you really need to know that if you're stepping into this, it is going to be a lot of work. I promise you, it's so worth it. And while it might be a couple months or a year or two of hard work, it's going to be the rest of your life of all of that spaciousness and freedom that you're working on creating. The second misconception is that you need to do business this way or that way. So essentially, the truth here is that there's not one way to build an online business, and you may have heard this before, but the reason that I'm bringing this one up is because this is both like a blessing and a curse. There's very rarely a right or a wrong in business, in all the decisions that you're having to make in your business. So the reason this is a pro is because you can't screw it up unless you fail or unless you stop trying, right? Like the only way to fail is to stop or not try in the first place. It's a constant evolution of just trying things, and some are going to work better for you and some are not going to work as well for you. The reason it's a bad thing is because we're trained, right, through society, through the way that most of us grew up, to follow rights and wrongs, to want to choose the right thing. And so we put all this pressure on ourselves trying to figure out, well, what's the right way to market myself? What should be the right thing for me to say on this video or this live? And very rarely is there a right thing. So really get out of this mindset of right and wrong and start to lean into, let me just try. Let me try this thing and figure out what works and what works better. The third misconception is that you can figure it all out on your own. And this is not a disempowering statement. This is a, I am saving you right now, you will thank me later statement. While Google is amazing and there is so much information online, there is not a single entrepreneur out there who has not invested in courses or mentorship or some type of support or aid to get them where they need to be. Many of you starting an online business have probably never done this before, so you shouldn't know how to do it, right? Those of you that may have started an online business before, It's not about always not knowing what to do. Even when you know what to do, we want to take the fast track. We don't want to waste our valuable time. We want to work with someone who's been there, done that, and can help us avoid mistakes and roadblocks and all these different things. So if you happen to be in this mentality, like a lot of new entrepreneurs of, I can figure it out, you are capable, you are amazing, you have what it takes, you as a person, to figure situations out that you might not have expected. But trying to figure everything out along the way of how to build an online business and scale your online business is not a good idea, and is only going to lead to burning out and giving up. So it's not really if we need support, it's just when. And to be honest, I've worked with so many hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs, and the sooner that you get the support that you need and that you invest in yourself, the faster you're going to see growth. Because why would you not want to take the fast track and just get a simple roadmap of ABC to get where you want to go? A lot of times if you're dealing with this, or if you're in the wrong mindset that I can figure this all out by myself, it's rooted in fear. Okay, misconception number 4. This one I like. I'm excited to say this one. Misconception number 4 is you don't always get to do what you want to do. So I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that when we come into business, we're doing what we want to do, and every day we get to wake up and do what we love. And don't get me wrong, I would not trade this life for anything. But there is always going to be parts of business that you don't want to do, whether it's that day, or maybe you're not a finance person. But guess what? When you're a one-woman or one-man show in the beginning, you gotta keep track of your finances. So make sure that we're letting go of this mindset and this disillusion that being an entrepreneur and building your business is just doing everything that you want to do when you want to do it. Doesn't work that way. You're not going to get very far if you only do the things that you want to do. Now, should we build an online business surrounding our strengths and our zones of genius, and our skill sets and what we want this lifestyle to look like? Absolutely. But the hard truth is that there's always going to be some stuff that, quite frankly, you just don't want to do. But this is a business and a company that you're running, and some days are going to be better than others. Now, my little asterisk to this point is this is most true in the beginning, because in the beginning you often don't have a lot of capital to invest in as many softwares and people and team members and all these other things that can help you take a lot of that stuff off your plate. So a big part of scaling your business and really stepping into a CEO role is going to be outsourcing and hiring more experts and team members and softwares and all these other things that do get to start to take the things that you don't enjoy doing and aren't your zone of genius off of your plate. Misconception number 5 is that so many people come into entrepreneurship saying, I want to find my passion. And the hard truth is, do not, please do not try and go find your passion. This is a topic that I talk a lot about. In fact, I made an entire podcast episode on it, so I'm going to keep this part brief, but check out my podcast episode here if you want to hear why you should absolutely not try and figure out your passion being an entrepreneur. Essentially, we place a lot of weight in this word passion, of really finding this overall joy and fulfillment in life, and more so purpose in life. And when we start chasing after our passion, most of the time we stay stuck in the chase trying to figure out this one pivotal thing, this one light bulb moment that's going to bring us that happiness and fulfillment in our day-to-day life that we're looking for, when in actuality you're just going to stay chasing ghosts a lot longer than you're going to be making progress if you just started moving forward. So that's my brief version of why you should not chase your passion, but definitely check out the podcast episode here where this goes into this a lot more. Misconception number 6 is that once you open the doors, the clients come in. And I think most people know this isn't true, but if we're honest with ourselves, behind the scenes, it's I've been posting for 2 weeks. Why has no one come knocking on my door? I've definitely heard this from a lot of my clients. So the hard truth of this is that once you open your doors, the clients don't just come in. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to take forever for you to get your first client or your next client, but we have to be strategic, and you have to understand how to market and position yourself and build a brand and build authority online in order to attract the right people in to be able to make sales a no-brainer, to be able to lead them to the point of purchase. So this is something that is a skill you have to learn. It's not just about showing up and saying, hey, okay, come buy this thing from me now. It's a very strategic and cultivated dynamic between you and your audience, and your dynamic of this relationship and trust, building the know, like, and trust factor with your audience in order to have those clients coming ready to work with you in your DMs, just saying, hey, I'm ready, let's purchase. If you're curious to learn a little bit more about this, especially if you're running your business on Instagram, you can check out the video here and here where I talk more about building the know, like, and trust factor and growing your business on Instagram. Okay, misconception number 7 is that everyone wants to avoid failure. And the truth is that you should not be avoiding failure at all. Failure is actually a good thing, especially in entrepreneurship, whether for good or bad. The thing about it is no matter how strategic you are, how perfectly planned everything is, you're still going to fail at certain times. Certain things are not going to go as planned. It is the nature of entrepreneurship and embarking on all of these different paths and journeys of things you might not have ever done before, and testing and trying things out. So the goal is not to avoid it. The goal is just to be prepared to handle it. The goal is both to prepare yourself as a person and your business to be able to weather the ups and downs, to be sustainable and profitable long term, as well as yourself to be unshakable through all of the ups and downs, and be able to mentally be able to handle different situations that are thrown your way and when things don't work out. In fact, I encourage my team members and all of my clients to fail, because to be honest, if you're not failing, you're probably not doing big enough moves to create the results that you want. Misconception number 8 is that as you grow your business and once you're at the top, that everything looks easy, right? You've mastered your mindset and all of these things, you got a team running the scenes, and life is great. And unfortunately, that's not the case, especially when it comes to mindset. So mindset is something that a lot of new entrepreneurs struggle with, as they're really trying to step into this next level version of themselves, really see themselves as a business owner, overcome a lot of imposter syndrome and fears. But the unfortunate hard truth is that the imposter syndrome and the mindset blocks don't go away as you continue to scale your business. In fact, sometimes they become even more prominent at these higher levels that you're starting to step into. So I always tell my clients that building an online business and being an entrepreneur is like 80% personal development and 20% business. So in the beginning, there's so much actual business knowledge that you absolutely have to have so you know how to run an actual business. But as you continue to scale, there's less and less literal knowledge that you need to learn and facts that you need to learn, and it's more about strategizing and adapting and trial and error, and it's more of the mindset stuff that you're going to have to continually work on and evolve, because mindset's never just a check. There's nothing you can do with mindset to be like, bam, I conquered it, right? It's an evolution. It's a habit that you're continuing to work on, just like exercising and fitness. Misconception number 9 is when we see all these big numbers thrown out on social media and these clickbaity headlines of like 100K month, I made 50K, I made 10K months, whatever it is, right? And I have a couple of those titles too. But here's the misconception, is that when we get to these high income months, that all of our problems are solved and that life is all going to be easier. And again, this is one of those things that on the surface, you're probably like, no, like I know that's not true. But behind the scenes, we constantly tell ourselves of like, oh, I'm only at 1K, I'm only at 5K, I'm only at 10K, right? Once I reach X, it's going to be good. Life is going to feel good. I'm going to feel less stressed. I'm not going to be worried. And the hard truth is that's unfortunately not the case. One of the things that we forget about is, one, how are we defining the number, right? Are people talking about sales, revenue, profit? There's a lot of different numbers that might be being thrown in your face here. The second thing is you're also not considering expenses and different investments that we're making for growth. So even if you have a 100K revenue month, right, which is going to even be more cash coming in than if you necessarily have a 100K sales month, where certain income might not all be coming in now, but might be coming in dripped out like via payment plans in future months. So even if you have a 100K cash month, right, that's huge, that's crazy. We also need to look at the expenses though that were utilized to get there. If you spent, I don't know, 30K on Facebook ads to get that, I mean, that's still a great month, right? But we want to make sure that we're looking at profit, and that also just because you're making more money doesn't mean that it's all going to get easier. With more money comes more problems sometimes. You're gonna have more expenses a lot of the time. You're also gonna need to start managing your money in different ways. And you're also gonna need to start investing for growth. And the stakes start to feel a little bit different when it's not just 1, 2, 3, 5K per month that you're dealing with as your company, but as the business as a whole. And that's the other thing to remember, is that all of the money and these numbers that you're seeing online, that's not necessarily money that's running into that person's pocket or bank account. It's an entire company when you get to those types of numbers and levels, and there's a lot of different people and dynamics that go into it. All right, and number 10, the last misconception is my absolute favorite. Despite all the things that you've heard, entrepreneurship can be hard. There's a lot of struggles. It doesn't always get easier as you go. But the 10th misconception is that I promise you, no matter how many flashy numbers and all of these things that you're seeing online, it's actually not too good to be true. I am a big skeptic. When I saw all this stuff starting an online business, I was like, it's a scam. Nope, it's too good to be true. Nope, can't be me. And I promise you, if you take anything away from this video, I want you to know that it is 1,000,000% possible, and it's not too good to be true. The freedom, setting your own schedule, being your own boss, doing all of these things, traveling the world, if that's what you want to do, it actually is possible if you put in the work and if you are persistent and diligent in continuing to grow and evolve and open yourself to change. The only reason why new entrepreneurs fail is either they decide it's actually not what they want, right? Which of course, then great, go figure that out. But normally it's because they either give up or they burn out and they stop. The only way that you can fail is if you stop moving forward and you stop trying. But in a year, your life can look completely different. In fact, so many of my clients that I work with, in a matter of months, end up replacing their 9-to-5 salary, quitting their 9-to-5, scaling from 6 to multiple 6 figures, whatever it might look like. But if you actually put in the work and you walk into this journey with like your head high, you're feeling unstoppable, and you continue to persist towards whatever it is that you're working towards, I promise you, you can do this. Now, enough with the cheesiness, but I had to leave you guys with something to pump you up, because I had to give some of these hard truths here. The last thing that I'm going to leave you with is that there has literally never been a better time to start an online business or continue to grow your online business and get into this space. Remote work is absolutely booming. The entire threads of society are changing in the way that we function, in that freelancers and personal brands are being more trusted, and that area of the market is growing so much, and not only from a consumer standpoint, but in shifting from a lot of us working with and looking to corporate brands. Not only that, but the way cultural societies on a global level are functioning are changing to favor freelancer and small business owners as well, especially if you want to be a traveler, with more digital nomad visas opening up and more flexibility and access to global markets than ever before. And lastly, if you think about this one, the internet is like 10 to 15 years old. We've had smartphones, I don't want to date myself here, but since 10 years ago. So I'm not gonna say where I was 10 years ago. But you guys, this is the beginning. It feels like it might be saturated, or it might feel safer to stay in your job. But if you have not started an online business yet, now is the time to get in, and this industry and this space are just going to be booming over the next couple of years. So I hope that you have found this video helpful. I'd love to hear in the comments below which one of these truths really kind of hit home for you, or maybe you're really excited to be able to know that this is how running an online business functions, and just be energized and excited to keep pursuing your business that you're building. And if you are completely brand new entrepreneur and you're ready to start your own online business, I have a free guide that you can grab below that's going to give you kind of your starter blueprint for starting an online business. And you can also check out, shameless plug, my signature group coaching program that hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs have gone through in order to build 6-figure foundations and to start and continue to grow their online business. So thank you for tuning in from Greece here. That's where we're filming from today. It's always somewhere different. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help us make more of this content, and check out some of my other videos here where you can get lots more information about running an online business, marketing, sales, and the digital nomad lifestyle.